Greetings everybody, and bonjour to Dr. Sebastian Lavoie. My name is Zikri, and I'm going to be talking about the social behavior of weakly electric fishes. So, the family of weakly electric fishes that we're going to talk about today is called Mormyridae, or more commonly referred to as elephant fishes. There's about 200 species in various regions across the African continent. And the reason why they are weakly electric is because they can emit and receive weak electric organ discharges, or EODs. And what's interesting about our topic today is because we can delve into how these fishes use their EODs to possibly socially glue individuals together and communicate. So, to explore the social behaviors of elephant fishes, we'll be looking at two studies. The first one is entitled Electric Organ Discharge Patterns During Group Hunting by a Mormyrid Fish, written by Matthew E. Arnegard from Cornell University and Bruce A. Carlson from University of Virginia. The researchers are interested in the cohesiveness of hunting groups by Mormyrops anguloides, or commonly referred to as Cornish jack. They did this by several video and electrical recordings taken simultaneously in the astoundingly clear waters of the Cape Maclear region of Lake Malawi. All of the recording were done at night, and they were earliest done when the first stars are seen. And this is because Cornish jacks are actually nocturnal, and they are known to hunt for colorful rock-dwelling chichlets, these fishes right here, at night in that region. So from these recordings, the researchers are actually interested to describe the hunting behaviors of the Cornish jack, and also to find out about their EOD patterns produced while locating prey and also interacting with other members of their hunting group. But of course, for this video, we are more interested in how the Cornish jacks interact with one another while hunting, and also how their EOD patterns corresponds to their social behavior. And yes, they did find exactly that. Alongside showing that EOD accelerations is coupled with prey probing and size estimation, this study also presents a new discovery. It shows that the hunting groups of these Cornish jacks resemble more like hunting packs, consisting of more or less the same individuals across the span of days, in spite of them encountering other hunting groups of Cornish jacks. So this is interesting because it suggests a high level of group coherence, and is supported by the fact that individual hunters, after catching a chichlet, can rapidly rejoin its group even though they were hunting 10 meters away. What about EODs? Well, this study found that Cornish jacks can sometimes generate brief and discrete synchronized EOD bursts, which are particularly common when an individual hunter encounters members of its own hunting group after being temporarily separated. So the researchers do not think that this is a form of echoing, a similar behavior done to bypass interference. This is because of the discreteness of this EOD bursts and also the specific context of this behavior, meaning that this behavior is done in relation to specific situations. In our case, the separation from its hunting group. So all of this suggests that the synchronized EOD burst functions as a form of group cohesion signal, much like a wolf's howl, I think. It is sort of like telling your friend that you're there and also acknowledging that you're part of the group. Okay, let's proceed to the second study. This study was written by Bruce A. Carlson, the same guy who co-wrote the previous study, and is titled Differences in Electrosensory and Social Behavior in an Area of Sympatry Between Two Species of Mormyrid Electric Fishes. Wow, that's a long title. Anyways, we have to get some things out of the way. So sympatry here means that two species or populations related to one another, existing in the same geographic area, thus frequently encountering one another. This is the case for two species of Mormyrid fish in Luamunda Swamp, Uganda, that were chosen for this study. These two species represent two different clades, or related groups in the Mormyridae family, Nothonomus victoriae, or G. victoriae is a species from clade A, and Petrocephalus degani, or P. degani for short, is a species from the subfamily Petrocephalinae. These clades are known to differ in their social behavior, with clade A fishes seen to be territorial and solitary, and petrocephaline fishes are seen in high-density clusters, which looks like a form of shoaling. They might also differ in their electrosensory anatomy, or more specifically in the anatomy of their Nolan organ, which are electroreceptors on the surface of their skin to detect EODs, and also in the anatomy of their midbrains to process these EOD inputs. The researcher is actually interested in the evolutionary divergence in electrosensory processing and how it relates to differences in social behavior. Thus, the hypothesis that is adopted for this study is that evolutionary divergence in Nolan organ electrosensory pathways is related to differences in the social behavior in between G. victoriae, representing clade A, and P. degani, representing non-clade A. There are many experiments done to test this hypothesis, and they include brain and electroreceptor anatomy analysis, transect and in situ electrical recordings, ex situ EOD recordings and analysis, shelter assay, electric communication experiments, and EOD playback experiments. Since there are so many of them, I will not go through each and every one, but let's proceed to look at some of the findings that are related to their social behavior. The researchers found that G. victoriae possess a broader distribution of Nolan organs and a larger midbrain than P. degani. This is associated with the ability to detect EOD waveform differences. So essentially, they can perceive and identify other members of their species as well as potential mates using EOD communication better than P. degani. And yes, the study confirms that G. victoriae exhibit social behaviors typical of clade A fishes by being solitary and territorial, seeking and competing for shelter. The study also confirms that P. degani as a non-clade A species are found in high densities. These results suggest that the solitary social lifestyle and habitat in the detritus of the lake bed of G. victoriae serves as a selective pressure for broader distribution of Nolan organs and a larger midbrain for EOD waveform sensitivity. The results also imply that the social behavior of P. degani together in high densities in the open waters does not give enough selective pressure for broader distribution of Nolan organs and a larger midbrain for EOD waveform sensitivity. This is because they can readily use their visual sensory system, or in plain English, their eyes. In a nutshell, within the context of this experiment, the hypothesis is accepted. So, what new perspectives or what new things did we learn from these two studies? Personally, I learned that fishes, especially weakly electric fishes from the family Mormyridae, have rich social lives than I previously thought, and it piqued my interest in fishes as a whole. Well, that's all for this video. Stay safe and stay curious.